Welcome, everybody. Glad you can join us tonight. Welcome to the monthly meeting of our nonprofit plant-based nutrition organization in Wisconsin, or what we like to call it PBNOW. I'm your host, Terry Lynch. The mission of our nonprofit group is to educate, inspire, and support each other on an evidence-backed, whole plant food-based nutritional path for a healthier, happier life. Our group's open to everyone, those both plant-based and those just curious about it. It's meant to be a non-judgmental place to come get information, inspiration, and support. If you'd like more information about our group, our upcoming meeting dates, speakers, and resources, or just to check out videos of past meetings, you can Google us at PBNOW. That's PBNOW. As we do each time, can I see a show of hands or a thumbs up icon from those of you who are currently following a predominantly plant-based lifestyle? And there's some hands, great. I see a few thumbs up too. I've got to say that's probably about as close to half of the people we've got up here now. That's excellent. Thank you so much. As we mentioned at the beginning of each meeting, the evidence of the benefits of plant-based nutrition in improving health and quality of life for people of all ages is, as published in non-biased medical research, is quite striking. Whether it's improving health through increased energy, weight loss, strengthening our immune system, preventing, slowing, stopping, or reversing problems like allergies, digestive problems, diabetes, heart disease, and early dementia, or increasing our quality of life by helping us feel better quickly, increasing our endurance, athletic performance, speeding recovery from exercise, reducing joint pain, clearing thinking, reducing the physical, emotional, and financial side effects of the illnesses, drugs, and procedures often recommended to treat the conditions that plant-based nutrition can help us avoid. The research shows that our bodies do a wonderful job of healing themselves if we stop inadvertently damaging them daily with poor nutrition and start giving them the nutrition they need to heal and function optimally. It's truly remarkable. Now, let me tell you what's in store for you tonight. Tonight, we're going to hear from 4 speakers. We'll start by hearing comments from Michelle Stamm, plant-based coach, followed by Dr. Josh Lieberman, our PBNOW medical director. And after that, we'll have our featured speakers, Ann Jane Esselstyn, who will give us some plant-based holiday tips and a cooking demonstration. After the presentations, we should have a little time for Q&A. By the way, don't hesitate to pop your questions in the chat boxes during the presentations. We'll try to answer as many of them as we can at the end of the presentations. As a reminder, we have meetings nearly every month, usually on the second Thursday of the month, not this one, but usually it's second Thursday of the month. Next month, we're going to hear from the doc and chef. The doc is Dr. Jim Loomis, who's the medical director of the Barnard Medical Clinic in Washington, D.C. You might recognize him from being on the Game Changers. And Dr. Loomis's good friend is the chef, Karen Dugan. She's an excellent plant-based chef from St. Louis. We'll post more information about this meeting and other meetings on our website. Again, you can Google us at PBNOW to get to the website. If you register on the website or are already registered, you'll receive email reminders of our events as they approach. And last, a quick technical note. We'd ask everyone, when you come in, you're muted. We ask you to remain muted so that everybody who tuned in here can hear, we can reduce the background noise and everybody gets a chance to hear the speakers. So with that, here we go. Our first speaker tonight, hold on just a second here, has over 30 years of experience helping people achieve their wellness goals. She did it first as a physical therapist and now as the founder of Wellness Empowered Plant-Based Health Coaching. As a physical therapist, she witnessed firsthand the devastating health ramifications of the standard American diet. And as she learned about the benefits of the plant-based diet and started eating that way herself, she realized that many of her patients could have avoided the serious health challenges they were facing just by changing what they ate. It became her mission to meet people before they became seriously ill helping them to eat plant-based so that they'd never end up in those situations. I've asked her to put up her contact information at the end of the talk for any of you who might like to find out more about her one-on-one virtual guidance for plant-based beginners and for those currently plant-based who just like to up their game a little bit. With that, let me introduce to you our speaker, Michelle Stan. Michelle?
Hi, Terry, and hi, everybody. So glad to see all of you tonight. Going to take you back to 2020, maybe not all of our favorite years, but one of my indulgences during that stay at home time during 2020 was binge watching The Gilmore Girls with my then teenage daughter. I don't know any Gilmore Girl fans in the room. You can raise your hand. Don't anybody unmute or anything, but I'm sure there's a few of you who have watched Gilmore Girls over the years. And one of my favorite things about the Gilmore Girls was the theme song. It was just so fun. Carole King sang it with her daughter, if you remember Carole King. And it started out, "Where you lead, I will follow." And I did the clap clap and everything. And the reason I bring this story up is because that is exactly what we are going to talk about tonight. Only we're going to change the words just a little bit to "Where you lead, they will follow." And I bring that up not because I'm a great singer or anything like that, but it's because it's what I have discovered is the best way to invite somebody you love into plant-based eating. Now, I know some of you here tonight are new to plant-based eating, but I know some of you have been eating this way for a long time, and you have people in your life who you wish would eat plant-based because you know how good it is for them. And what I want to tell you tonight is there's a few different ways you can bring somebody into plant-based eating. Nagging is one way. I've tried it. I am the world's perhaps best nagger. Ask my husband, or maybe don't. But if nagging could do it, I would have it done. But nagging, what I've learned, does not work. It does not work in life, and it certainly does not work when you're inviting somebody into plant-based eating. But do you know what does work? Leading with joy, leading with confidence, leading with beautiful and delicious food. That works. So when my client Pam first contacted me, we had a consult call, and what she told me when we both got there on Zoom is she said, Michelle, I want my husband to eat
Well, it
plant-based.
did this time. It didn't
And when
before.
she did that, when she said that, I knew exactly what to tell her. You guys probably know what I told her. Pam, where you lead, he will follow. Now, Pam loves her husband a whole bunch. She was worried he has diabetes, and his diabetes seemed to be getting worse. And she knew a plant-based diet could help him, but he just wasn't interested in doing that. So she felt stuck, which is what caused her to reach out
God,
to me.
Marley.
So I told Pam, Pam, as much as we might want to, we can't change other people. The only person we could change is ourselves. So why don't we focus? We'll start by focusing on you, and we'll see what happens. So that's exactly what we did. And oh my goodness, this was the start of something very big for Pam. Pam started with goals for plant-based eating of wanting to lose some weight, lower her cholesterol, get rid of her migraines, hopefully, maybe her hot flashes. And also, she was very concerned about her family medical history because it wasn't great. And in particular, there were a lot of people in her family who had suffered from Alzheimer's disease. And that was something she did not want to happen to her. So she wants to do everything she can to protect her health. And plus, Pam had another fun goal. She wants to be known by her grandchildren as the healthy grandma. So Pam committed to eating a fully plant-based diet, and through the power of her plant-based diet, she accomplished exactly what she set out to accomplish. She lowered her cholesterol by 70 points. She dropped 30 pounds. Her migraines almost completely went away, as did her hot flashes. And then she accomplished even more. Her aches and pains in her joints went away. At 63 years old, Pam is very proud to tell people that she is on no medications, even though a lot of her friends who are her age are on quite a few medications. And as Pam says, plain and simple, I just feel good. Now, as this was happening for Pam, guess what else was starting to happen? Where she was leading, her husband was starting to follow. At first, he just nibbled on her foods. He poured some of her cashew ranch dressing on his salad. Maybe he had a little taste of her bean chili with no meat. And to his surprise, he liked them. Those nibbles, they turned into meals. And eventually, the two of them found they were eating plant based dinner together maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And they really enjoyed sitting down to have the same food together. Pam's husband even thanked her for helping him to eat healthier. But he still hadn't fully committed. Now, the next part of the story, this is what you're going to really want to hear. The best part of the story. And Pam, when she shared this with me, I want you to know she had tears in her eyes. So this is months into Pam eating plant-based, her husband nibbling and doing all those things I just told you about. And then one day, completely out of the blue, he woke up and he told her, Pam, I'm ready. And from there, he started taking his own steps into a plant-based lifestyle, and he really owned it. He wanted to watch the Game Changers with Pam. He signed up for the Forks Over Knives emails and even started inviting Pam to the Forks Over Knives webinars. He read books by Dr. Bernard and Dr. Esselstyn. He now helps with the groceries. He gets excited about the purple potatoes he found at the farmer's market. And sometimes he even teaches Pam new things about plant-based eating. I mean, talk about a 180. And the results? Well, the plants are working in his body too. His blood work has improved. His A1C has gone already from 8.2 down to 7.0, which is a pretty good improvement in a short amount of time. He has way less aches and pains, and he says he feels better than he has felt in years. All because Pam chose to quietly lead and he followed. And it's not just Pam who's changing the world by being a quiet leader, by first caring for herself and then inviting others to follow. Another one of my clients had a where you lead, they will follow moment when she offered to pack lunch for her and her friends who were going hiking together. Of course, she packed a plant-based lunch and everybody enjoyed it. Another one of my clients, she was hosting card club at her house a couple months ago. And at first she thought, you know what, I'm going to serve regular food, right? And then plant-based food for me. But she thought, I'm not going to all that work. And plus, I love plant-based eating. So I'm going to just make a plant-based meal for everyone. So she made a delicious chickpea salad. She made a beautiful fruit platter, had some hummus and veggies and that kind of thing. And you know what? Her friends loved the food. 3 of them asked her for the chickpea salad recipe. So for those of you already living and loving your plant-based lifestyle and wishing the people you loved would join you, I can tell you, don't do the nagging route, do the leading and they will follow route, because when you lead, they will follow. So lead quietly, joyfully, beautifully, and they will follow. All right, now before I wrap up tonight, I have a couple of invitations for you. They're invitations meant to keep you leading in your own life and stay connected with other plant-based eaters. And honestly, these are great ways to help people follow you into plant-based eating as well. So first, I want to tell you about a brand new group that has just started up in Southeast Wisconsin. And I know there's many of you here tonight who are not from Southeast Wisconsin, so I'm sorry about that. But if you are from Southeast Wisconsin, there is a new group called Plant-Based Southeast Wisconsin. And there's a flyer for their next meeting, which I'm going to drop into the chat. So I know you can't really probably read all of this. So I'll tell you a couple details and then you can look for more information in the chat. But this next meeting is happening on December 2nd, and it's happening at the Menominee Falls Library. It is going to be great because it is going to be a holiday potluck, which means I'm sure there is going to be a lot of delicious food there. And in addition to that, there's going to be a conversation, an interactive conversation with people about how to eat plant-based at the holidays. And it's meant for everybody. So if you're a newbie to plant-based eating, you're welcome to come and ask your questions and try some new recipes. If you are a very experienced plant-based eater, please come and offer your tips to other people. It's really just meant for a place for like-minded plant-based people or even plant-based wannabe people to come and enjoy each other's company and get the support that they want. So I will drop a link, or I'll drop that flyer into the chat. And then I have a second invitation for you guys as well. There is something new and exciting happening at Wellness Empowered coming in January. I am going to be offering a course called the Plant-Based Dip. And what this is a 30-day experience meant to help you dip into plant-based eating for somebody who wants to kind of tiptoe into plant-based eating, give it a try it on to see what you think. And it is meant to really help you see just how doable this lifestyle is, how delicious the food is, how it really can be a part of your life in a lot of fun ways. So if you want to learn more about that, I'm going to drop a link for my website in the chat as well. It is wellness-empowered.org, and you can sign up for the wait list for the plant-based dip right there. You want to be on the wait list, you guys, because I'm going to share, all the information about the course there and a lot of recipes for, you guessed it, plant-based dips. It's always about the puns with me. So, all right. So you guys, please keep leading with joy, love, and beautiful food, and let those around you follow into plant-based eating in their own time, because we know where you lead, they will follow. All right, enough bad singing from me. We'll get you on to the rest of the meeting. Thanks, bye. Having a good night. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michelle. That was great. Say, would you hold that that up again, for the plant-based, for people who want to take a picture of it?
Oh,
You can just
sure.
take a picture of the
Yeah.
screen.
Take
Yeah,
a
that would be
screenshot,
great.
and then my next move will be to drop this into the chat. And if you somehow can't get that, just email me. You can do that on my website, and I'll send it right your way.
That sounds great, because I know there have been a number of you who've asked me over the past few months, when I've run into people, are we ever going to do a get together in person, as we used to do at the Whitefish Bay Library? And that's not going to, there are no plans for that to happen. And so this is a great alternative. And I've talked to Linda, Sharon, or Michelle introduced me to Linda, and very wonderful person who's very enthused about this, and it would be happy for anybody who would like to join in, and would love to listen to ideas too.
Yeah, and try new food. I mean, that's what I'm excited about. So you can walk into one of these Southeast Plant-Based Wisconsin rooms and you can eat everything there. You don't have to ask any questions. All the food will be plant-based. So it's awesome.
Excellent. Oh, thanks so much, Michelle. Our next speaker tonight is a fellowship trained cardiologist. He's president and CEO of Wisconsin Cardiology Associates, past president, current trustee of the Wisconsin chapter of the American College of Cardiology, and he's a member of the American College of Cardiology's National Nutrition and Lifestyle Work Group, whose membership includes nationally known physicians such as Dr. Dean Ornish, Dr. Neil Bernard, and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn Jr. He's an advocate for the use of plant-based nutrition to help improve health, heart health, general health, and quality of life, and has seen the benefits of plant-based nutrition in both his personal life and that of his patients. We're fortunate here in Milwaukee to have him here in Milwaukee, and as our PBNOW medical director, I'm happy to welcome Dr. Joshua Liberman. Dr. Liberman?
Thank you, Terry. Thanks for the introduction. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. Great crowd tonight to listen to Michelle and of course the Esselstyns. It's great to be here. Those of you who have been on these calls before know that I like to talk about a couple different things. Usually like to talk about something from my own clinical experience, something, to pull a patient case from my office visits from the week or the previous weeks, as well as talk about the research that's been coming out. We can, I guess, maybe start there, and maybe it ties in a little bit to what Michelle was saying. Is that last weekend, or actually, sorry, already 2 weekends ago. Sorry, 2 weekends ago was the American Heart Association's annual meeting. So different associations, different societies, doctor societies, and whatnot get together once a year, where the best and brightest and most advanced research is published and announced and discussed And sure enough, it was the American Heart Association's turn 2 weekends ago. It was held down in New Orleans. It's a big deal. Lots of really cool research is announced and makes all the headlines and everything. And a lot of times this research focuses on the newest techniques, the newest interventions, the newest kinds of surgeries or approaches to surgery. Using really high, highly technological approaches to getting people healthier, getting people's hearts healthier. But more and more over recent years, there is some research out there that talks about the role of nutrition in heart health, which is great. Obviously, that's why we're all here, not just for heart health, but we're all here for health, improving our health through nutrition. And sure enough, in this most recent meeting, there were plenty of really large trials that were announced that looked at the role of nutrition in health, and they looked at it in a couple different ways. They looked at it also in different approaches to achieving health, or what even is the mechanism behind why plant-based diets really help. And so maybe to start there, there was I thought was an interesting article that was published last week that looked actually at rats. Okay, so this is where a lot of our experimental data comes from animals, and experimentation on animals, of course. And maybe that's not such a great topic in general, and I'm sure there's probably people on this call that aren't such a fan of this kind of research. I know Dr. Neil Barnard is kind of trying to campaign to move away from experimenting on animals. But for better or worse, this is how we actually learn a lot about how these things work. And so this specific research looked at the function of blood vessels. So we know that Dr. Esselstyn, Caldwell Esselstyn, talked about how nitric oxide can really heal the endothelium, and talks about the importance of the endothelium. So this study wasn't really so focused specifically on nitric oxide, but it was talking about the function of the tiny blood vessels that can be in the heart, what we call the microcirculation. And they looked at the coronary arteries and the tiny blood vessels, and they fed rats a regular control diet that had refined foods, no really plant foods, and then they fed a different group, and then they crossed them over. So each group got opposite diets, and then switched to the opposite diet. So one started with a bad diet and then got switched to the plant-based diet, and vice versa. And they found that rats on the plant-based diet, if you can believe it, they got fed plant-based foods that they thought would be equivalent to beans and Brussels sprouts and sweet potato and stuff like that. But they saw that rats started on the plant-based diet did not develop dysfunction of their coronary microvascular system, even though these were rats that should have done that, right? Why do I say that? Because these were rats that were specifically genetically engineered to have high blood pressure. So these were rats with high blood pressure. But if you fed them plant-based diet, they actually did not develop dysfunction of the coronary arteries. So that was pretty cool. They also showed that the rats that started on the bad diet and got switched to the plant-based diet, they actually showed reversal of their coronary microvascular dysfunction, right? So they had the problems that would be expected from poor diet and from high blood pressure. But if you fed them plant-based diets, that got reversed. So this is kind of a mechanistic approach, or an attempt at understanding how some of the mechanisms, that is, how plant-based diets really help hearts in general. Couple other trials that were, that are of note. There's actually a couple trials where they actually provided food to people to see if that would help their health, right? So these are the topic, or the title that is used in these things is food is medicine, or food as medicine, right? We're trying to think of our nutrition as a medical intervention, right? It's this whole change in paradigm for Western medicine. Usually we think of medicine as medicine, or interventions as things to help people. We don't really think of, for a long time, we haven't really thought of nutrition as ways to help people. But there were indeed several different pilot studies or studies where they basically provided either pre-cooked meals, what are called medically tailored meals, and counseling, versus fresh produce boxes, versus counseling alone, or just giving people money alone and saying, here's a stipend for money, go buy food. And sure enough, they found in a couple different studies, there were a couple different ones that were all designed a little bit differently. But they found that providing food to people or providing produce, and actually it turned out that they liked being provided the produce the best option. They thought that was the most enjoyable, cooking their own food with the produce that was provided. Their health did get better. Blood pressure dropped, cholesterol dropped a little bit, and certainly, both systolic and diastolic blood pressure dropped in these trials. So there were health benefits. The problem, of course, is that once the trial stopped, they actually looked at people afterwards, and many of them had gone back to either the way they were eating before or the food they were eating before, and those health gains stopped. So that's where I tie it into what Michelle was just saying, is that it's more than just nagging. It's more than just pushing people. It's more than just giving people food. You have to really show them how much the benefit is and do it over time. And by providing an example and by being a role model and by leading the way, hopefully over time, people will make these choices for themselves rather than just trying to give them money, give them food, give them instruction, like, what Michelle was saying, nagging, these kinds of things. If we can role model these behaviors over the long term, I think that we can really help people out. Certainly their health gets better. Unquestionably, the health gets better when they're doing it. The question is, can it be sustained? And that's where really role modeling helps. All right. So that's a recap of what came out of the American Heart Association. Lots of, I thought, cool stuff, really, that actually made some headlines too. So it was nice to see that it wasn't all just about medications and interventions, and people are really moving a little bit more towards focusing on lifestyle interventions for benefit. And then one final comment: saw a patient not that long ago. She had been on, she's mid-60s, had been on cholesterol medicine, had really high cholesterol, genetically high cholesterol, for a long time, had been on medicine for a long time. Cholesterol really wasn't controlled. Her primary care doctor tried increasing the medicine, really made no difference. And so she was very, very frustrated because she knew, the downside, the future problems with that are posed by having high cholesterol. And so we had a conversation over back this summer, talked about plant-based diet. She made the plunge. She didn't just take a dip in the pool, as Michelle was saying. She made a full plunge. She went 100% plant-based back in June, and when she came back to see me, all of her cholesterol numbers had gotten dramatically better. So, 80-point improvement in her bad cholesterol. 80 point improvement in her bad cholesterol, from being over 200 to being obviously 80 points lower. We did some more advanced tests, particle number tests, all these kinds of things. I mean, she actually had for those, who are, who are geeks about this thing like me, she had 1,000-point drop in her particle number, which is a more advanced way of measuring cholesterol. So tremendous improvements in her numbers with moving to 100% plant-based diet. And sure enough, you can imagine how excited she was after years of being frustrated, after years of seeing that the medication really just wasn't working for her. She made a huge change, and as a result, huge benefits in her future long-term health. So with that, just in summary, listen, we know this stuff works. We know that it works with cholesterol, with blood pressure, oftentimes with sugars, depending on what you're eating in your plant-based diet. Losing weight, we know from human studies as well as now, animal studies, that hearts function better, that the coronary arteries function better on plant-based diets, and risk factors are dramatically improved for future heart problems. So, that's all I have for you. Excited for the rest of the talk today, and thanks once again for inviting me into your lives on a unfortunately dark Thursday night.
Thanks, Dr. Lieberman. Those studies are amazing, and that it's just so great to hear somebody who has tried the Western approach with the medication, and it's getting frustrated, and I imagine a little worried and depressed, and to have the kind of results just by changing what they eat. It's
exactly. Yep.
It's just way too. It's
truly amazing.
Yeah. With that, it's time to introduce our featured speakers tonight, Ann and Jane Esselstyn, who are relentlessly energetic and creative advocates for the plant-based whole food way of life. Ann, a Smith graduate, earned her master's degree in education and taught for 27 years while raising 4 children plant-based. Jane, a University of Michigan swimmer and rower, earned a nursing degree and, like her mother and her husband, Brian Hart, became an educator. And Ann raised 3 plant-based children. Ann and Jane are now devoted to inventing recipes to prevent and reverse heart disease and improve health. And in support of the research of Ann's husband and Jane's father, the esteemed former Cleveland Clinic physician, surgeon, and researcher, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn Jr. Ann and Jane co-authored the excellent Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook, and more recently, the popular Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior Cookbook, which is excellent. In addition, Ann and Jane have produced a string of popular YouTube and Instagram videos titled Plant-Based with Jane Esselstyn and Ann Esselstyn. They've got over 160,000 subscribers. Tonight, Ann and Jane will be sharing with us some holiday tips and a cooking demo. I'm so happy to welcome our featured speakers tonight, Ann and Jane Esselstyn.
I'm Jane Esselstyn.
And I'm Ann Esselstyn.
And we are here with the Esselstyn Foundation. I'd like to just, Esselstyn sounds like foundation. Just for some reason, we wanted you to be clear. Anyway, Esselstyn Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit charity, and our mission is to educate about the power of what you guys have been talking about. How whole food plant-based nutrition can prevent and reverse lifestyle-related diseases. So Terry asked us to present with you guys tonight a sort of a holiday buffet of sorts. So we're going to make 5 or 6 recipes with you guys tonight. We're going to make some mashed potato. Oh.
We're making mashed potatoes, and we're also making mushroom gravy.
With black pepper that makes me cough. I was grinding some black pepper earlier and I just got a whiff of it. So, yes, mashed potatoes and gravy, some kale bruschetta, cranberry salsa.
Oh, it makes all the difference.
And of course, we're going to tee it up at the end with some frozen frosted fudge. Yay! All right, well, I started cooking this at 7 because I thought we were going to be on soon after. I didn't realize you guys had a number of speakers. So I cooked already these are onions and garlic in this is a caraway pan. It's ceramic nonstick. So this has been cooked down, and I've been sort of like putting a little bit of broth on there to pull all the caramelization off. That's why it looks so dark. Brian, can they see how dark that is? Anyway, so what you would add to your diced onion and the garlic is mushrooms, because this is Mommy's mushroom gravy. So I'm going to put about 16 ounces of mushrooms, because these cook down a lot. And part of why we're doing this recipe first is that it's going to be cooking here in the foreground for a while we do some other stuff. So I'm going to add a little bit of broth, just because it got a little dried when I turned it off for a few minutes, just while we waited till we were up to bat. Anyway, this is going to cook down for a while now, and I will interrupt my mom while I add other things. But before she gets started, I'm just going to say the things I am going to add. Miso paste, but I'm going to dilute it with a little broth in here so we don't have clumps of miso. Brian, my husband, loves getting a miso clump because it's salty and all that. I don't like getting a miso clump that much, but it's wonderful. And this is oat flour. You can use any kind of flour you like. I just feel like we get enough wheat in our life, and oats are good for us kind of no matter what form they come in. And then tamari, we're going to add, and some black pepper. So I'm going to do those things as my mom is cooking the mashed potatoes.
But I have to say that this gravy is just unbelievably delicious, and it makes nothing. You don't have to, and nothing else has to be good. If this,
the cranberry salsa.
Oh, the cranberry salsa. Those two.
Yes.
They're
really good.
Do I get to start?
You are. So now I'm gonna tip it to her to make the potatoes whilst I'm also cooking my.
So what we love is to get the Yukon Gold potatoes, because the skin of the potato is the most important part of the potato to eat. the skin of this just dissolves. It's wonderful, and I love the juicy,
It's like they said the butter's baked in because it's so moist inside.
so the potatoes that are about this size, I got 6 of them, and I cut them up into small pieces and cooked them until they were soft, and I did that before.
Maybe 30 minutes in water.
Oh, not even that
Yes,
necessarily.
so here, can you see in the pot? Okay?
Hold on.
Are we camera 2? So these are in pieces that are, you know, not hash browns, but just, 1 inch big, and they're really moist through and through. Oh my gosh, and look at Ann's.
And this is the fun thing, because you get to mash them, and this is my masher.
You're like 6 feet tall up there.
And
or
I
more.
feel, geez, this is how Jane's and Brian's son is 6'7". This is how Zeb feels. Anyway, I'm mashing these potatoes, and when I get them nice and mashed, I'm gonna add per potato at least 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Now,
Should I add?
Yeah,
Should I add while you? How many? You had 6 potatoes?
I have 6.
So 6 heaping.
Heaping.
1, 2.
Now, the interesting thing about nutritional yeast
3.
is that it sort of sucks up any liquid, so you may
you both
think you
look up
don't
here?
need more liquid, but
Five.
you do.
Look at Brian. Look at Brian. So this is our 5th. I have to count because
Well, if we have too many, it doesn't matter. We could have 7.
I think
Maybe that was 6. All right, and then into that, I'm gonna put some garlic. This is fresh garlic, and I am going to, actually, this is my new garlic press
stand up straight and try to shoot it in.
because Jane complained about my other garlic press.
No, I didn't complain about it. I found her garlic press went through our dishwasher after a demo or something, and it came out, and I was like, "What is this? This must be a piece of some machine." It was like crusty and hingy and squeaky,
Well, it's
and
because
I
it's
recycled it.
50 years old.
I recycled it. I recycled it because I thought there's no way this can be. I don't know.
No,
A
if you
useful
love
thing.
garlic, put in as much as you want. And I love
So
garlic.
you put in 4.
I put in 4.
Do you put in a little bit less than the number? You still have.
I don't know how to work my new press.
She still has the plastic layer coverage.
No.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh, Molly.
The cool thing is, it's such a good press that it did smash the garlic anyway. And then I am going to add any kind of other than real milk. This happens to be from Plant
The
Strong.
non-dairy.
Non-dairy, and it's oat milk. And I'm just gonna add it until they're mashed to the mash that I like. And while I'm mashing, and
Wait, do you see what I'm talking about? I'm opening.
Oh, the plastic thing was on there?
I felt so proud of my new
Right.
garlic.
No wonder it wasn't working so well.
Oh my gosh.
No, Brian, the crazy thing was, I thought it was working. It was mashing out the sides. These are gonna be awesome mashed potatoes. And then Jane will put in some fresh what do they call them? Ground black pepper.
I will, but I'm gonna interrupt right now. Back to the gravy. In here again, we have mushrooms. Yes, we have mushrooms, garlic, and onions. And I'm gonna add, I don't know, another cup or so of broth to keep it nice and, liquidy. But I'm gonna add some liquid to my oat. I've been down to the bottom of my broth. I gotta add a little water here. My broth got thick on the bottom.
I'm coming down to earth.
Oh, and you don't want to come down, do you?
I kinda like being up there.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have 2 teaspoons of miso paste. Put that in one of the bowls. Oh my gosh, it's sticky. 2 tablespoons, and this I also want to dilute with and I'm sure you guys all know about how to work with miso, but just add some liquid to that and just stir these things up so when you add them in, they don't clump as much. And it's okay, I oftentimes don't do this fancy move just because I don't care about clumps, but see, this is just now sort of Brian, you see okay,
Jane,
Brian?
You need to always do that, because if not, it's just.
Oh, you violate all rules of culinary. So, I'm kidding. All right, so in all that goes, and now the miso, stir it all in. And that gives it a cloudy, you know how gravy's kind of cloudy. And now the miso, we're going to add this. How are you doing?
Oh, my potatoes are gorgeous. They're just waiting for the black pepper.
Oh.
That's okay. You go ahead.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. How much do you want?
More.
And what about rosemary? Or do you put some spices in there, or what do you?
Oh yes, the rosemary. Forgot it. A little rosemary you can add if you want. It's lovely. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of rosemary. 1, 2. And
Brian,
that-
I think Brian's gonna be psyched because there's some clumps of miso that I'm just feeling like I want to move on from this recipe because this gravy is just so good. I mean, look what it just does. It just sits there and it sizzles away. Brian, you're gonna be psyched. There's a few clumps of miso.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, look at all this. Yum, yum.
Woo-hoo.
Wow.
More liquid?
I could use more, but this is kind of thick gravy, which is kind of fun to have. All right, so Mike, I'm just going to top it off with some black pepper, which I just feel like a giant when I use this pepper grinder. Oh, look at that gravy! Yumbalaya.
Ooh, Jane.
Isn't that yummy? Okay,
Beautiful.
I'm going to move it right here in the front, Bryce. I can get a good shot of that, maybe. Look at it.
Now it's out of the picture.
No, now it's out of the picture. Well, I'm moving this little stove out of the picture, so we will be more visible. Okay, so the next thing I want to do with you guys is make a cranberry salsa. Oh, my raw mushroom. Cranberry salsa, and that requires the use of Cuisinart, so I'm going to scoot that into the frame. Oh, thank you, Brian. He's dragging it out of the frame. Oh, the black pepper is going to get me sneezing again in a second. I'm sensitive to that black pepper. Maybe not. Okay, is this in the frame, Brian?
I'm taking away my wonderful new garlic press.
Which has been freed of all this plastic wrap. So this cranberry salsa has induced cranberry wars in our Thanksgiving. My cousin makes a cranberry kind of orange jelly thing, which is delicious, don't get me wrong, but this is better. So this, we put a whole bunch of cranberry. This is about 12 ounces, and these are small scallions, so I'm using 4, but if you have big ones, just 2 is fine. It adds a little green, adds a little, I don't know, aromatic cha-cha. And this is a little bit of jalapeno. I had a quarter of it left, and don't really have to chop it up too much because it's going to go into the Cuisinart, but I just am really scared about getting a big chunk of jalapeno. And the reason we add this, the jalapeno pepper, is because your tongue is ADD, and your tongue really wants to be distracted. And we're so used to having grease and salt. So if we can do some heat, some acid, some just flavors to distract it, it's distracted. It just needs distraction. And then this is, because cranberries are so tart, this is maple syrup, and in that goes, and depending on how many cranberries you have, I oftentimes double this, because we eat this all year round.
It's wonderful on rice and beans.
Oh, it's we just love it. So we do about, I usually have like a cup when I double it, so.
Jane, can you do fresh or frozen cranberries?
It doesn't matter. I love it when I make it frozen. I don't know if you can hear me. I love it when I make it frozen. It looks like a milkshake or something. Not a milkshake, but or strawberry milkshake or something like that. So I'm just gonna get the jalapeno pieces down amongst everybody else. Give it another whirl. All right, so this is ready to go then. Woo! And I got this container out of habit because I literally do usually fill it up with the double recipe. Right now it's only filling up halfway. Creature of habit. Maybe I'll double it after this, after our demo tonight. But anyway, this is just, it is a sweet pop. It's got that vitamin C, that acid, and a little bit of, it isn't heat, but it's that little bit of, can I just offer that to you? Thank you. A little bit of, here you go, Rod. Can you kind of see that? You can see sort of the tones of other colors in there.
Up toward the white camera. There you go.
It's just delicious. And
Someone asked, why do you prefer Yukon Gold? Can you explain?
as we mentioned, well, maybe you didn't catch it, we were saying so many things, sorry. Yukon Gold has a really thin skin, and the skin of the potato is the best part. So that's one reason why. Also, they're reasonably sized, so you can have, a little one and you're okay. Like russets are so big, and the skin's so tough. But also, the biggest reason why is because they're so moist inside. I oftentimes take a whole sack of potatoes, throw them in my oven at 400, and I have a button that says cook time, and I just put 1 hour. I mean, from 0 degrees to 400 for 1 hour, and then the oven turns off. So they sit there in the warm oven, just setting and absorbing the heat, just gently, gently, gently. So I bring them out later on in the day, and they're still warm, and you can eat them like apples.
Just plain.
Oh, my dad has been craving them lately, so I make little potatoes and set him potatoes next door.
I'm feeling like all I'm gonna feed my husband now is those potatoes.
I know, it is sort of cute and sort of funny that that's what he's getting into. Okay, so we're gonna move this down towards the potatoes and the gravy. Oh, we're gonna have a beautiful, beautiful final product. Now this, what we're gonna make now, is called kale bruschetta. And kale bruschetta is an appetizer that we make for my parents' host. Our street has a Christmas carol singing party, but you can come and sing whatever you'd like. And what we do is we make a ton of hors d'oeuvres, and thank you, Molly, for bringing the things we're working on. Here, can you chop the tomatoes and do the bikini salad? So what we do is my mom and I, the day of, we just cook all day. It's so nice. It's a little bit rushed. But what we do is we toast bread and steam a bunch of kale, just like, I don't know, 4 or 5 bunches of kale. We make our walnut sauce, and the walnut sauce, I feel like we've made it with you guys. If we haven't, apologies, we will make it another time. This is 3 ingredients. 1 cup of walnuts, 1 big or 2 regular cloves of garlic, and a tablespoon of tamari, soy sauce. And you stir.
It's just crazy delicious.
And you stir it up, and you think, no, Jane didn't tell me the right recipe. That's because the secret 4th ingredient is water. And the water makes it turn white and creamy looking. Otherwise, it looks like brown mincemeat or something. So anyway, the 3 ingredients plus water makes this amazing, and you just add as much water as you per the consistency. So here we have the toasted bread with the walnut sauce, which is garlicky and creamy and has a little bit of a tamari, the salty umami flavor. And to this, we add cooked kale, a heaping amount of cooked kale. One time I asked a hotel to make it for I was presenting, they put 1 piece like this, and I was like, oh, no, you have to heap, just have a heap of kale on top of all the pieces. And can you do the rest of this? I got an ingredient I don't have out. Okay, so you put the kale on top. I gotta fix that one too. kale on top, and then what's a really fun move is my reference for this is you take cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes and you cut them bikini style. And what is bikini style, you ask? It's not a culinary term, but I love it. You cut it 98% the way through, so it looks like a little bikini, a little teeny weeny bikini. And I do that because then they can drape over this and they stay up there like little holly berries. And, okay, can you cut a few more of those, Mike?
You know, the cool thing is you can also cut those in half and
Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. And we just choose a bakery bread because we don't want to have a bread that, you know, a sandwich bread that just doesn't taste. We cut a few more for you. And these just sit and rest beautifully on here, just like I said, holly berries. It's just so holiday-ish.
oh, that is so beautiful.
All right, and do a couple more. Can we do like a little more? And then this is what tops it all off.
This is what makes it off the top.
So we have crispy bread, creamy walnut sauce, then just the essence of cooked kale, a pop of a tomato, and this is balsamic glaze, which is a sweet and acid. So your tongue is just completely satisfied with this. And so many of our neighbors are not plant-based at all. But this hors d'oeuvre vanishes. And you just glaze over everything like very confident chefy.
I like to get the pieces with the most glaze.
Yes. Oh, this is so good. Would you want to have a bite? We just show them how crispy and yummy it is. I'm talking so much I can't have a bite because it takes like a minute to swallow food. Here you go. Listen up. Go. Ah! Oh, that's good and crunchy. Okay. Oh, nice.
Mm.
Is it good?
So good.
She loves crunch. I knew she'd be happy with that. Okay.
I love all these flavors.
All those flavors. This is designed probably by you and for you. All right, the next thing I want to make, I believe, okay, so we've done mashed potatoes and gravy and cranberry salsa. We've made kale bruschetta with walnut sauce that we intended to make with you, but we made it when we realized the 7 o'clock starting time was not ours. So what we have now is frozen frosted fudge. And Ann, you have a duty when you are done eating your
I'm
hors
not
d'oeuvre. Can you please chop? I want you to. Can you dust up about a quarter cup of pistachios? Just turn them into like just crush them, if you will. All right, this frozen frosted fudge is something that we did in our Engine 2 cookbook, which I guess is my brother Rip and that book. And it starts with about a cup and a quarter, or so of walnuts. This is going to add to the body
Look
of
for the
it.
center a little more, Jen.
This is going to add, yeah. I'll center this. Is that better?
Yep.
Here's our walnuts, and we're going to smash this up with a little bit of water. And we're going to grab a little water, about 2 tablespoons to a quarter cup of water. Safe to say you could use 2 tablespoons. So I'll go glug, 2 tablespoons roughly. All we're doing here is we're turning the walnuts into kind of walnut butter, but not really butter. It's not going to turn it into a clump. If it turns into a clump, that's great, but this is just kind of dusty. I gotta get a spatula. Okay, so once we have this is kind of like the. I've never made fudge. I don't know. Have you made what?
Of course.
Does fudge have? Of course, what?
I've made fudge.
Oh, okay.
I'm old.
You knew I was gonna. So this is kind of the body of it. And then to this I'm going to add some maple syrup. I'm going to add about a cup of maple syrup. I had a cup of maple syrup. Does someone see my maple syrup? Do any of you see my maple syrup? There's pepper.
I know there's like 4 of them in the
There are 4 in the
refrigerator.
fridge. Hold. Oh, it got returned. Okay, so we're gonna have a cup of maple syrup. This is our frozen frosted fudge. This is our holiday treat. Okay, in that goes.
Do you want more than this, Jane?
Do you want more than that?
More chopped?
Yeah, the center ones don't look as well as done as the side ones for mine because they got to scatter all over the top and bottom. Okay, so this we're gonna blend up. And I think of this now as kind of like the butter and the sugar of when you're starting a recipe. Like the butter and the sugar carry a lot of the body of the recipe. So this has got walnuts and maple syrup. Yes, this is the magic we work with. And then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. This is a 1/4 cup, I believe. Yeah, 1, 2.
I'm quitting chopping.
You done?
I'm done.
You retired?
No, because I love to get chunks.
You love to get chunks. Okay, that's fine. Now we add the cocoa powder and it thickens it up. It dries it out a little bit. And okay, this is kind of an amateur pro move. You have this beautiful chocolate. Okay, Brad, can you see this?
Yeah,
Camera 2? Are we there?
sorry.
Can you see that?
Turn it towards the camera. There you go.
Liquidy. We're going to pour roughly half of this into a bowl. Some people who like a real recipe, like the specifics, they're like, well, how much? I'm like, roughly half of it. So roughly half of this. What are we calling it, roughly half? Let's try that. Maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit less, but that's roughly half of what was in there, what is in there. And that is going to play a role in a minute. So this other half that's still in here, to this, we now add, so much sugar, we're going to add only a few more ingredients. What we have so far, remember, walnuts, and then maple syrup with chocolate. To this now we're going to add vanilla, a cooked sweet potato, and some oat flour. Let's put a capful of vanilla in here. Perfect.
Love
You know
vanilla.
what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna also, if you could have put a little bit in there, just because it could have been in there, like it's such a liquid. Where is it? There it is. And we can stir that in. So that can be in that part too, because the vanilla just makes it taste good. So that can be in this or both. Now we're gonna add a sweet potato. This is a cooked sweet potato. I'm gonna. It says to take the skin off, but you know what? Let's leave half the skin on and take half the skin off. I'm gonna take off any part that looks like it has like a chunk or a scar. And we're just gonna put the rest of it in. This is so fun. All right, Ann, can you give me half a cup of oat flour? That's a 1/4 cup. You do 2 scoops of that into here. So this, here's a chunk of skin that I don't think I want to have in there. And I love just putting the sweet potato and the skin in right in. Okay, one more. There we go. Thank you. All right, now while I'm mixing this up, what we're going to do with the pan, the brownie pan, the frozen frosted fudge pan, I should say, is we're going to put half of our pistachios, we're going to sprinkle on the ground, on the base of this. Where is this all going? We're going to know soon. All right, Brian, can you see that? Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so this is looking really good. So this is all goopy. Oh well.
I think it's good to have a little bit of chunks.
Oh gosh, it's fun. It's probably like for Brian getting the chunk of miso.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, this is beautifully thick. That sweet potato and the oat flour. Okay, so this now, look at that. Do you see that one, Greg?
Back it up a little bit, there you go.
This is really thick. This is the foundation of our fudge. Remember, it's frozen and it's frosted and it's fudge. So this goes into our pan. Come on, come on. Out you go. Can you get a clean?
What's the name of the dressing that you're using and where can I purchase it?
Wait, what dressing?
Oh, the glaze maybe?
We're not using any dressing today, right
No,
now?
no, no, I think
The glaze?
the kale,
The bruschetta glaze.
this is called
This is
balsamic.
balsamic glaze. You can get it at any store. Just make sure the ingredients don't have cream in it. One time it had cream in it. When we were trying to find it. Can you find it in cream? Spread it out. So we're gonna just, this is kind of fudgy, and we're just gonna spread it out on top of our pistachios. There's so much of it stuck in here still. It's so nice and thick. I mean, look at that.
Ah,
Yeah, this is
this
yummy.
is hard to resist.
I know, and it's stuck. It's stuck here underneath the blade. Look at all. Oh, a ton of it is still in here.
Good grief, Jane.
I know. I know.
It's enough to go to every corner.
Yeah. All right. So, do your best to sort of spread this around, so you get all the pistachios covered. Get that off there. There we go. There's still a ton on here. It's so tempting just to lick that right now. But again, I have to speak. So, I want to get this out of my way. Because what the next move is so cool. The next move is, remember the title of this? Frozen Frosted Fudge. So we've got our, we had our fudge in the pan. The fudge is in the pan with the pistachio crushed on the bottom, looking gorgeous from below. And now on top, we're going to add the frosting, which is the half that we saved. So it doesn't matter how much it was or how much it wasn't, because it's all going to the same place. And here's our other half. And then we spread it out, and Ann, guess what you get to do?
I know what I get to, put more.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say taste it, but no, I gotta put my,
Oh, sprinkle it on, that's right.
Jane.
And then what we did ahead of time, so you guys could see, and I should have taken this out like 7 o'clock so it would thaw, but at least an hour ahead of time, take out what you've made, and you can see how these are twins. Brian, can your camera see how they're twins?
Actually, I think I spread these better
Yeah, you did.
than you did.
I dumped
They
them on
were
there.
dumped.
So do you see how this is frozen? And in about half hour or so, it'll be sliceable and delicious. In about 2 hours, it'll be a pool like that, because there's no saturated fat to hold the structure. So you really want to serve this sort of frozen, like maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour and a half out of the freezer. And it's delicious. I wish we could try it now, but it's too frozen to slice. I meant to bring it out. Too many details on my mind. Well, you guys, it is 8:03, and we tried to get you guys within the hour, so thank you so much. If you have any questions, Brian can see the chat or hear Terry from there, and we're happy to answer. Otherwise, we're just going to show everything we've made and keep hitting the goal here.
And remind you when you get a new garlic press to take out the plastic.
So,
Thank you.
in review, we've made, oh, I can taste things now. I don't have to speak the whole time. We made Mommy's this is mashed potatoes. Mommy's mashed potatoes with some mushroom gravy. Oh, with some cranberry. Oh my goodness! It just splattered all over the counter. That was a good one too, darn it. I want to, oh, that's good. With some cranberry salsa on top. such a, and this is so perfect. It's the foundation that doesn't have a lot of flavor. Mashed potatoes.
I was using my left hand.
I'm using my right. I'm lefty, she's righty. I might drop mine. I'm going with my used fork. Okay. Any questions? We're making a mess.
No, it's really good.
Boy,
All
that
of it.
it looks so tasty. I'm so hungry right now.
Yeah, it
Hey,
is.
yeah, I know one question that came up a couple times already is, where can we get the recipes?
Oh, thank you for asking. These recipes are available. We have our, as you mentioned, Terry, we have our YouTube, which is featuring them right now. You can follow along and write them down. It's available for free. Again, we can't list them because they are copyright protected with Penguin Publishing, but they are in Mommy's Mushroom Gravy's in almost all of our books. We keep changing it. We took out the alcohol, we took out the wheat, we've done so many different tweaks to this one. But it's in the Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior, it's in the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook, it's in Plant Strong. This is, the potatoes are in the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook. Cranberry salsa is in Plant Strong and the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook. Kale bruschetta is in the Engine 2 diet. And we have a version of it that's heart smart, like doesn't have the walnuts in it, in the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook that uses cannellini beans instead of walnuts, which is a clever move. And the frozen frosted fudge is in the Engine 2 cookbook.
And we will be editing this and putting it up on YouTube. So if you want to follow through, and yeah, I mean, you can look at the ingredients and write them down, go out and get them, and then come back and cook along with Ann and Jane.
Yep.
And have as much fun, and make sure you take the plastic off the garlic press.
Yep. I don't know how you got it through.
I was just, it's really good new press that presses right through plastic.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you get a little plastic taste there too?
Little neon blue plastic taste.
Oh,
All
this
right,
is,
so
that's
much.
a,
Thank you so much for working with the Esselstyn Foundation.
I wish we could share this with you.
Yes, and you guys have been wonderfully supportive of the foundation as well, so thank you for all those of you who contribute to us being able to do this programming. And let's continue to stay connected, you guys.
all right.
Happy
We'll do it.
Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
Thanks so much, guys. And to everybody out there too, as a quick reminder, our next monthly meeting is going to be Thursday, December 11th at 6 p.m. Our speakers will be the doc and chef. So we will have another plant-based demo with the doctor explaining the benefits of the ingredients that are going in there. Thanks again to our speakers, Dr. Josh Lieberman, Michelle Stamp, and our featured speakers, Ann and Jane Esselstyn, for sharing their valuable time and knowledge with us tonight. And thanks for coming, everybody. Hope to see you next time.